Do you believe there was a worldwide catastrophic flood?
No, I do not.
70% of the earth is covered in water. Where did it come from?
That's a good question.
Do you know?
I have no clue at all.
How did the water come here? You mean from the original Earth when it was formed? Well, the scientists projected it possibly from comets.
What's your credentials?
I'm a professor of geology and oceanography at Cal State University, Long Beach.
Rick, where do oceans come from?
Well, the oceans are constantly changing, but originally the water on the Earth came from a couple different sources. One is that the materials that accumulated in the very early stages of the Earth, sort of as meteorites and asteroid bombardments, had water in them, and as they heated up, they melted, they gave off gases and water vapor, and that condensed to form a lot of water in the Earth. But another way that they came in is that a lot of the stuff that came and accumulated in the planet to form the Earth were comets, and comets are made up largely of water ice and methane ice.
So comets bombarded the Earth and all the water came from comets?
A lot of the water came from comets.
Is that just a theory or is it a fact, well-known fact?
Well, it's nothing about the origin of the Earth is a fact. It was long time ago.
You're a science teacher.
Yes.
Do you think comets brought water to the Earth? No?
No.
Here's a question. Where did all the fish come from? There are 28,000 different species of fish, and then there's whales and dolphins and all these different sorts of fish. Do they come on the comets?
That's a silly question.
Where did they come from?
I don't understand what a silly question that is.
Well, the oceans is...
You're talking, you think that animals are riding in on comets through the vacuum of space?
No, I don't.
Question.
I don't believe that, but where did all the fish come from? There are 28,000 different species of fish in the oceans.
Do you have any research?
I'm doing it now. I'm coming to experts.
That's, you need to do your homework before you talk to experts.
I have.
Well, nobody knows exactly how and when life started on Earth, but it's entirely possible that the early prebiotic material, or even the first microbes, traveled to Earth aboard a rock of some kind and seeded the once barren ground with what would later become every species alive today.
Okay, well, thank you for talking to me. The world is covered with water. Water doesn't dissipate. You know, that's what nature says. If evaporates, comes down, evaporates, comes down. Always stays the same. So if there's a worldwide flood, water should still be hanging around somewhere. Do you think 70% of the Earth being covered in water is a good clue that there was a worldwide flood?
Oh, whoa. He makes a good point.
That's an excellent point, actually.
Yeah, it's...
yeah, I mean, it's clue. I I have a raging clue that possibly... That's an excellent point. Maybe it is a realization that the existence of a clue of a flood.
Water. We can't live without it. Neither can dogs, frogs, cats, bats, rats or gnats, or trees or fleas or bees, nor can the horse, of course. We swim in it, we wash in it, we play in it, and for fish, they'll die if they don't stay in it. We clean with it and we cook in it. It's in our tea, our coffee, and our milk. In our tears, in our blood, and in our mouth. Water is the perfect combination of oxygen and hydrogen. Together, they make thirst-quenching and life-giving water. So, where did it all come from? The Smithsonian Magazine says, water is so vital to our survival, but strangely enough, we don't know the first thing about it. Literally, the first. Where does water, a giver and taker of life on planet Earth, come from? Think about it.
There's no possible way in which they were able to fit every species of animals on Earth into that boat.
Completely impossible to have two of every species on a boat. It's impossible. It does seem impossible.
When it comes to Noah and his ark, two relevant questions arise. How many animals did it carry, and how large was the ark? See if you can spot the repetition of a particular word that skeptics dislike. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. Two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. Genesis 6:20. That's right, it's the dreaded word kind, that archaic word that the dictionary defines as a class or group of individual objects, people, animals, etc., of the same nature or character, or classified together because they have traits in common. It's a despised word because it means that God didn't have to get today's approximately 6.5 million species to fit into the ark. It means Noah needed only one pair for the canine kind, from which would come all the species of dog, from the Chihuahua to the Great Dane, and one pair for the feline kind, from which would come the domesticated cat and the tiger, etc. So now we're talking just thousands of animals, not millions. And because these animals need not have been fully grown, averaging the size of a sheep, it becomes possible. Another consideration is the size of the ark. It wasn't a little rubber ducky bobbing boat portrayed in kids' cartoons. It was a massive 3-level ship the size of 1.5 football fields. Another argument skeptics have against the worldwide flood is that there's not enough water on the earth to cover the highest mountains. They forget that mountains were not the height they are now, and that the earth and the sky store trillions of tons of water. The Bible says that the floodwaters came from both the sky and the earth. All the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. Genesis 7:11.